because this is Meals in Minutes.
That's exactly right. It is 5:24 actually. And what are you cooking for dinner tonight? Well, as Mary Bartz just said, it's Meals in Minutes, sponsored by the Minnesota Pork Board. And how are you, Mary?
It's so good to see you.
Yeah, and you as well.
Was it thawing up in Bird Island today?
It was. It was beautiful up there.
It's been thawing all over. I mean, this is wonderful.
Isn't this nice?
It is. It's not going to last though. I don't know. I'm usually an optimist, but I've got a feeling we've got a few more Sub-Zero.
Do you? Because I made a prediction.
What's your prediction?
I made a prediction we aren't going to see anymore.
Well, it really doesn't matter. It's still going to be a little chilly, and that is perfect weather for chili.
Absolutely.
And today we are doing pork chili express.
Ooh.
How does that sound?
Oh, fantastic.
Well, in this recipe, I really have not been slaving all day in the kitchen, even though it looks like it here.
Yeah, you got quite the spread here tonight.
I do, but this recipe is quicker than quick. It's just 7 ingredients.
Wow.
And the best part of all, there was no chopping.
Really?
I mean, I love to cook. I don't mind chopping. I've got all the knives. I've got the food processor, but this was so easy, and the cleanup was just a snap. So I think we need to get going here.
Absolutely.
I should mention, though, I should tell everyone it's one of 5 recipes in Eat Lean for Less with Pork, a brochure that's posted at www.mnpork.com. And I've also brought a stack of brochures, so if anybody's just walking by KNUJ, they could just stop in and pick up a brochure too.
Okay.
So,
all right.
Yeah. Well, we better get cooking here. I am going to start with 1 pound of ground pork. And this is the first recipe we've done in this series with ground pork. And this is an incredibly versatile pork cut. I love it. I use it every place I would use any other ground meat product. That shall remain nameless. But what we're going to do, we have our skillet on the heat, and we're going to crumble. And I'm making kind of little balls. This is a very nice, very lean ground pork product. And what's important, today in the studio I've got a small tabletop heating unit, so I have a fairly small skillet. But the recipe calls for a 12-inch non-stick skillet, and that's what's really important, because as you put the pork in the skillet, you don't want to layer it. You kind of want to make these little crumbles so they will get some nice browning going. And it's this browning that really ensures that great flavor. So you can hear the sizzle. This is going to take about, for a full pound, if I had the full skillet going, it would take only 3 to 4 minutes to do this. And so I've got a little sizzle, and I just want to show you, when you turn this over, you can see the nice browning there.
Oh, yeah.
Because a lot of times what happens, and I'm guilty of it too, I'll just throw everything in the pan and just start stirring, and what happens is that you end up steaming the meat. And it's fine, the meat thoroughly cooks, but the browning is what really adds the flavor.
Yeah, like Mary said, you could probably hear that. It's got a good sizzle going.
It is. So we're going to shift over, and I have another pan that I have the full pound already cooked, and we're just going to finish cooking off this chili. Now actually, you can see the difference. This is, I did a little test when I was doing my prep. This was basically steamed, because I just put it all in, I started cooking, I started stirring, and it's thoroughly cooked, but it's all even crumbly pieces. You can see here with the bigger pieces, we really like meaty chili, and so you get some nice meat bites when you have the small little clusters. Where here it's just even, and the nice thing about that is everybody gets the same amount of meat. So,
oh yeah.
But whichever way you go, it'll be fine in the end. Now the seasonings. What I like to do is mix my seasonings. I have a tablespoon of chili powder, 1½ teaspoons of ground cinnamon, a ½ teaspoon of dried oregano leaves, and about a ½ teaspoon of salt. Now salt is an optional ingredient in this recipe, but I think that small amount adds just the right amount of flavor to help round it all out. So what I'm doing is stirring that into the brown meat mixture. I think that just sort of helps marry the seasonings with the meat. And that'll warm up just a little bit here. And then we have 1 can of chili beans and chili sauce. Now with this type of bean, there's no draining. You want to add all of the flavorful sauce to the chili. It's a pinto bean, so it's a nice light colored bean, mild in flavor, and the chili sauce. I chose the mild sauce variety for today. And then we have 2 cans, 14.5-ounce cans of diced tomatoes and sauce. And again, no draining, so this makes it super easy. So we're going to put all of these into the skillet. And one thing I neglected to mention, because I went right from my cooking to having the meat already cooked, is talking about draining the ground pork. This is a fairly lean product, so there's not a lot of excess liquid, but I still would recommend that using a colander, that you drain the cooked meat after it's fully cooked, and then just drain that off and then put it back in the pan. Now that just helps control calories and fat content and all of that. So that's the preference today. Okay, so we've got everything together, and then this recipe calls for an additional 1.5 cups of water. So we're going to stir that all together, bring this to a boil. Now, putting the cover back on, it'll take a few minutes to come up to boil, and then once we've hit that stage, then we'll turn the heat down to medium, and then it cooks for about another 3 to 5 minutes. And having the cover off and just letting it continue to cook down will allow you to bring it to your preferred consistency. So it gives you some options there as well. So, Todd, that is how easy this recipe is.
Wow.
I've got your bowl. Hopefully it's not too steaming hot. We've brought some complimentary toppings here. We have sour cream, we have shredded sharp cheddar cheese, we have sliced green onions as well. And then I'm also serving some sliced citrus fruits. We have California navel oranges, Texas red grapefruit. I couldn't resist the mangoes and the strawberries, so we have a very enticing fruit platter, very sweet and refreshing. And also from the bread side, I baked off some refrigerated dough breadsticks. They baked about the same amount of time it took to prepare the chili. I think total bake time was somewhere between 10 and 15 minutes. So we have a full meal here tonight. Very balanced, very colorful and appealing, and a nice nutritional plus.
Absolutely. Oh my, is that ever good?
Well, did you notice the cinnamon at all?
Yes, I did actually.
What do you think about that?
I like that. That's a neat little twist.
Yeah, it's different, and it's an intriguing addition to savory dishes. We all think of cinnamon with baked goods of breads and cookies, but it's not uncommon. There's many cultures around the world that include cinnamon in their savory dishes, and I think it just adds a very subtle and unique twist. And there are a zillion and one chili recipes out there, and with all of the chili cook-off competitions, those masterminds are always tweaking their recipes and their ingredients, a little plus here and a little minus there. So I think our recipe today is very straightforward, not a lot of chopping and fussing, like I said, and it's super easy, but yet rich and flavorful.
Oh, it's very, very good. Like you say, that cinnamon that's a neat idea. I like that. I like that a lot, actually, that cinnamon there. Now, you need to strain the pork when you cook?
We talked about that a little bit, and I've got my colander here and bowl. It's a plastic colander. It's just super easy. Everything drains. Just let it stand, for less than a minute. If you're really intent about getting all the excess juices off, you could press it down, pat it with paper towels. But you don't want to move all of the moisture out of the meat either. You still want to retain it so it's not too dry. There's some other alternatives if you don't have a colander. One is to use a slotted spoon, and I have a slotted spoon here, or just a regular spoon, and then just move all of the cooked meat from the pan. Remove it from the pan into a bowl, and then then drain the fat from the cooking skillet and then wipe it off with a paper towel. Another approach, which is probably a little trickier, but I've done it many times, not always with success, is just to put the lid back on the skillet and just leave that little opening, and then lifting up the skillet and then pouring it into the bowl. You got to be careful because it could be heavy. I've gotten burned. I've made messes, but it works. So it's just a couple different alternatives there. So
all right.
Yeah. What do you think?
Oh man.
I know we have a crowd here today.
Goodness
Jim's
gracious.
Here. I mean, you're going to come in and have dinner with us today? He's looking at me like, should I or shouldn't I?
Oh yeah, should I or shouldn't I? He's thinking, I'll eventually.
Oh, no, it's okay. Now he's coming. The boss is coming in.
Oh yeah, he's toying with us. He's like, I'm going in there, but I'm going to make it look like I'm leaving.
Hi, Jim.
Hi.
We're just wrapping up.
Smells good.
We've got some great chili. So.
Yeah. Oh, it's fantastic. Yeah. Fantastic. Eric, you better take over. I'm gonna start eating. Is that all right?
Yeah.
That's good. Well, we should remind everyone that the recipe for Pork Chili Express is posted at mnpork.com. It's in the Eat Lean for Less with Pork brochure, along with 4 additional pork recipes, all healthful and delicious, just what we're looking for in this new year. And I think, as we've said, this recipe definitely fits our Meals a Minute theme.
It is fantastic. Mary, as always, we thank you.
Well, good. Good.
Yes.
Hey.
Yes, absolutely. Bravo. Mary Bartz with Meals in Minutes, sponsored by the Minnesota Pork Board here on 860 KNUJ.